Hi, welcome back to my channel, See Mary Make. Today I'm showing you how to take in a pair of pants at the waist to make them smaller for someone skinny like my daughter. So first you're going to start off by having them put the pants on inside out. And you're going to need sewing pins, of course. And you're going to just pinch on either side of the middle seam, the kind of like butt crack seam. You're going to pinch on either side. I just eyeball it. You could measure and do like exact amounts on each side, but I just kind of pinch what seems to be like the same amount of fabric on each side. And then all I do is stick like 2 or 3 pins down it. Now for this, these are sweatpants, so I'm not worried about really making them look super pretty. This is just something for her to be comfy in and lounge around in. And, but you can go all the way down the leg if you want to make it look more tailored and finished, especially if you're doing like a pair of dress pants or something. But for sweatpants like this, I'm just going to go like kind of halfway down her butt cheek. And what I'll do is just as I pin, I'll pin it at an angle and get closer to the edge of the pinched fabric as I go down. And like I said, I just eyeball it. Here I'm just fixing the pins because one popped out, I didn't put it in enough. And because this is quite a bit to get through on the waistband here. This is a really thick, probably like 1-inch piece of elastic. And I'm just pulling her shirt out to make sure I don't pin her shirt in any there. But you just pin all the way down, and that's all you do for this part. Just be careful taking them off after this. I, of course, didn't record that part, but be careful taking them off. You don't want to stab whoever you're doing this for, be it your child or someone else or even yourself, which I wouldn't recommend doing this yourself unless you have someone that can pin it for you. Because if you're twisting and turning, trying to look behind you and stuff, you're not going to get a good, accurate tightening to where you actually need. And I've been doing this for her clothes since she was like 1. She goes up a size because she gets taller, but she's always been, well, not always. When she was a baby, she was a real chunky butt, but since she thinned out, she's always been really thin, but she gets taller and needs a new size up, and so I end up having to take them in because they're massive in the waist, as you can see at the picture in the beginning. So now I'm going to go ahead and pin more sewing pins perpendicular, is that right? Yeah, perpendicular to the pins I already put in there. And this is just the way I do it. You can try and run the sewing machine needle right along the pins you've placed in already, but I just prefer it to be a little more secure with that kind of gap there where I can follow the line. So I just place a little pin right through there, right under the needles I already have in place. And I do that all the way down on both sides, which I only show me doing one side, but I do the exact same thing on the other side as well. And once you do that, you're ready to sew. And I'm obviously going to use my machine because I have it. You can hand sew this. I have done that in the past when my son was little, and I took in some of my daughter's old pajamas for him, and I was living somewhere and I didn't have a sewing machine because it was back home in North Carolina in storage. And I sat and sewed it by hand. It works. You just gotta make sure you're thorough with it, and I like to go back over it several times. So I'm just going to start off at the top, and here I started sewing. I backstitched and my bobbin got tangled up. So now I'm using a seam ripper to get underneath the pants to break the thread so I can get them off because they weren't budging and I could not pull them off. Sometimes you'll just get like a teeny knot and you can just kind of give it a nice little easy tug and it'll come off and you'll be able to clip it and start over. But this was bad. You'll see the knot in a minute. I have to take my bobbin out to actually fix it. And so now I'm going to remove my bobbin. And I just thought I'd see that huge knot that came out. I just thought I'd leave this in here because, you know, problems arise sometimes, and that's just part of life, my life at least. Haha. But so I'm just going to reinsert my bobbin now and rethread it, which and this is a drop-in bobbin, which in my opinion is way easier than the other one, which I don't even know what the other one's called. I don't remember. The first machine I ever had the bobbin that went in like on the front of the machine, and I always had such a hard time threading that. But yeah, so now I'm gonna get back to sewing these pants. Make sure when you start off you back stitch at the very beginning, and also always back stitch in the end. That helps knot your thread so things don't come undone as they're being worn and washed. And also something to keep in mind is when you're, for me anyway, when I'm doing like a thick fabric like this, something that's thick like elastic or like plushy type of material, and I'm just taking them in, I use like a really pretty large stitch, because a lot of the time I want to be able to take it out so that as she grows some, she can still wear it. And then I also have my youngest daughter who I would like to be able to wear it too. And so you want to be able to take it out, because I did a plush pair of pajamas for her for school for Christmas one year, her kindergarten year, and actually hemmed them shorter because they were way too long on her. And I used like a size 3 stitch. And because the fabric was so fluffy, I couldn't find the stitch to get it out once she grew. And I ended up poking holes in it trying to. So just keep in mind to use a stitch that's appropriate for the type of fabric you're doing if you want to be able to let it back out later on if they get bigger. All right, so that's it. You do the exact same thing to the other side. Cut your threads off at the end and turn them right side out, and then you're done. That's all there really is to it. This works on pajamas, leggings, sweatpants. You can do it on jeans, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's uncomfortable. Just save yourself the hassle and buy the jeans with the adjustable elastic waists in them. It's not even worth. So this is what it'll look like on the inside of the pants when you're done. And that's it. I just sewed that straight line all the way down. There's the stitch there, and this is what they look like on her now that they fit. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it's helpful for someone out there who may need it. See you next time. Bye.